War. The year is 218 BC, a time of rising tensions and looming conflict between Rome and Carthage. The stage is set for one of history's most daring military campaigns. High in the Alps, Hannibal Barca, a Carthaginian general known for his strategic brilliance, leads an army and war elephants on a seemingly impossible journey. They march across a landscape of rock, ice and sky, a formidable natural barrier that few armies dared to challenge. The Romans, confident in their defences, believed these mountains were an impenetrable shield, a natural fortress protecting their northern borders. Hannibal, however, set out to prove them wrong, to defy expectations and strike at the heart of Rome through a route deemed impassable. The journey was a nightmare, a relentless gauntlet of natural and human-made obstacles. The army faced narrow paths, sheer cliffs that plunged into oblivion, and deadly ambushes from local tribes, fiercely protective of their mountain homes and hostile to invaders. Boulders rained down from above, dislodged by the treacherous terrain or enemy hands. Elephants panicked, their massive forms struggling for purchase, and men slipped to their deaths, lost to the unforgiving depths below. The cold bit deep, chilling bone and spirit. Snow hid crevasses, turning the ground into a deadly trap, and food ran out, leaving the army weakened and desperate. The elephants, magnificent beasts built for African plains, began to die, succumbing to the unfamiliar cold and the lack of suitable forage. Hannibal's men, exhausted and starving, their bodies pushed to the absolute limit, pressed on under his relentless leadership, driven by his unwavering determination and strategic vision. The Alps demanded a brutal price, a toll of lives, supplies and morale that threatened to break the army's spirit. By the time they descended, nearly half the army and most of the elephants were lost. A devastating blow to Hannibal's forces. Yet, against all odds, Hannibal emerged in Italy, a testament to his strategic genius and the resilience of his remaining troops. A ghost army, battered but unbroken, a force diminished but still capable of striking fear into the heart of Rome. His crossing was a military miracle, a feat of logistics, leadership and sheer willpower that defied conventional wisdom, but also a warning. The Alps were not just a barrier but a ruthless adversary, a force that could cripple even the most formidable army. The mountains stripped away the weak, exposing vulnerabilities and testing the limits of human endurance, leaving only the toughest to fight Rome, a hardened core of warriors forged in the crucible of the Alpine crossing. Hannibal's feat became legend, a story of daring, sacrifice, and the triumph of will over seemingly insurmountable obstacles. His shadow lingering over the peaks for centuries, a reminder of the audacious gamble that shook the foundations of the ancient world. The Alps had shaped the outcome, dictating the pace, the cost, and the ultimate composition of Hannibal's invading force, proving that nature itself could decide the fate of empires, its power capable of humbling even the most ambitious of conquerors. Every future commander would remember the lessons learned from Hannibal's crossing, the risks and rewards of challenging the natural world. To cross the Alps was to gamble with everything, to stake the fate of an army on the unpredictable forces of nature. The mountains could not be ignored, only endured, their challenges demanding respect, resilience, and a willingness to pay the ultimate price. Hannibal's ambition and the raw power of nature collided here, echoing through history, a timeless tale of human endeavour against the backdrop of an unforgiving landscape. The Alps were more than geography. They were a force of war, a strategic element that shaped the course of conflict and determined the fate of armies. Hannibal's audacity changed the course of history, opening a path to Rome that was previously deemed impossible. But the mountains took their toll, exacting a heavy price in lives and resources. His legacy, a testament to human will, the enduring might of the Alps, and the enduring power of nature to shape the destinies of men and empires. The Alps stretch over 1,000 kilometers, a majestic spine running through the heart of Europe, a jagged maze of peaks and valleys carved by ancient glaciers over millennia, not a single wall but a labyrinth, a complex network of natural barriers. Few passes, many dead ends, creating strategic choke points and defensive advantages. Invading armies must funnel through narrow gateways, their movements dictated by the unforgiving terrain. Like the St. Bernard or Brenner Pass, historically significant routes that have witnessed countless military campaigns, becoming easy targets vulnerable to ambushes and strategic blockades, the terrain is punishing, a relentless test of endurance and logistical capability. Sheer cliffs, deep gorges, natural obstacles that demand respect and careful planning, and roaring rivers, swift and icy, further complicating any advance. Moving troops and supplies, even in modern times, is a logistical nightmare. A constant battle against the elements and the landscape itself. Every step is a struggle, demanding immense physical and mental fortitude. Defenders hold the high ground, a commanding position that offers unparalleled visibility and control. Able to ambush or block with ease, turning the terrain into a weapon. A handful of soldiers can hold off thousands from above, exploiting the natural advantages of the Alpine environment. The attacker is exposed, vulnerable to the elements and the watchful eyes of the defenders, forced into predictable uphill routes, a grueling ascent under constant threat. The mountains dictate the terms, shaping the strategies and outcomes of conflicts, always favoring those who know the land, the local guides and inhabitants who understand its secrets. This geography has shaped Europe's borders, influencing the course of history for centuries, and protected nations like Switzerland for centuries, allowing them to maintain their neutrality and independence. The Alps divide cultures, creating distinct regional identities and traditions, but also offer sanctuary to those fleeing conflict, a place of refuge in times of turmoil. Their dual role as barrier and haven, a paradox that defines their significance, comes from their unique, formidable landscape, a testament to the power of nature. The Alps are not just scenery, they are a force to be reckoned with. They are a fortress, a divider and a refuge, all intertwined in their majestic peaks and valleys. Every army that faces them must respect their power, understanding the challenges they present. Geography here is destiny, shaping the fate of nations and the course of history. The Alps have always been Europe's natural stronghold, a timeless guardian of the continent. In the Alps, weather is a weapon as deadly as any army. Blizzards can strike without warning, turning sunny mornings into whiteouts. Temperatures plunge below freezing even in summer. Frostbite and hypothermia are constant threats. Winter blocks passes with deep snow, trapping armies for months. Avalanches, rivers of snow and rock can wipe out entire units in seconds. Even in milder weather, cold and thin air sap strength and morale. Rain and fog hide dangers, making ambushes easy and movement slow. Sickness spreads quickly in damp, freezing camps. Commanders must time campaigns carefully, racing against the seasons. Local guides become invaluable, reading the signs of storms and avalanches. The climate grinds down armies, favoring those who know and respect its power. In the Alps, nature fights back. 2 millennia after Hannibal's daring crossing, a feat that echoed through the ages, Napoleon Bonaparte, a rising star on the European stage, set his sights on the formidable Alps in 1800. He recognized that to gain a decisive advantage, he needed to surprise the Austrians, who were deeply entrenched in Italy, and to do that, he chose the daunting and notoriously difficult Great St. Bernard Pass. Unlike Hannibal, who relied on sheer audacity and faced immense losses, Napoleon understood the importance of meticulous planning and comprehensive logistics. His dedicated engineers ingeniously crafted sturdy sledges from hollowed pine logs, specifically designed to drag the heavy cannons and essential artillery pieces through the treacherous snow-covered paths. An impressive force of 40,000 soldiers marched relentlessly for 5 arduous days, bravely braving the perils of deep, unforgiving snow and the constant threat of devastating avalanches. Napoleon, a master of morale, made sure to share the same hardships and deprivations as his men, making a point of stopping at the Great St. Bernard Monastery, perched high atop the pass to receive rations of simple bread and cheese from the monks. This simple act of solidarity and shared experience profoundly inspired his weary troops, powerfully demonstrating that he was truly one of them, fully immersed in their struggle and committed to their shared goal. When the French army finally descended from the towering peaks and emerged into the plains of Italy, The Austrian forces were utterly stunned and caught completely off guard, because no one, not even the most seasoned military strategists, expected an entire army, and especially not heavy artillery, to successfully traverse the treacherous pass. Just weeks later, Napoleon's decisive victory at the Battle of Marengo firmly secured French control over Italy and significantly cemented Napoleon's burgeoning political power. His audacious Alpine crossing rapidly became the stuff of legend, forever immortalized in iconic works of art and enshrined in the annals of history. It definitively proved that with sufficient innovation, unwavering determination, and strong, decisive leadership, even the seemingly insurmountable barrier of the Alps could be successfully overcome. Napoleon's remarkable feat redefined the very boundaries of what was considered possible in the realm of mountain warfare. The French imperial eagle had soared triumphantly, where even the great Hannibal had faced significant struggles and setbacks. The Alps, which had always been considered a formidable natural barrier, now became a dramatic stage upon which Napoleon showcased his strategic genius. Napoleon's triumph was not merely a military victory, it was a profound psychological victory that resonated deeply with his troops and instilled fear in his enemies. He demonstrated to the world that even the most imposing mountains could be mastered, even if only for a fleeting, triumphant moment in time. The enduring legend of his audacious crossing continues to inspire, serving as a powerful testament to the boundless potential of human ingenuity and determination. The formidable Alps tested Napoleon's resolve and strategic brilliance, but ultimately he prevailed against all odds. The majestic mountains, however, never yield their secrets or their challenges easily, standing as an eternal testament to the power of nature. World War I's White War was fought high in the Alps, where Italy and Austria-Hungary clashed on frozen peaks. Soldiers built trenches in ice, hauled guns up cliffs, and endured temperatures below -30. Avalanches, frostbite and falls killed more than bullets. Both sides became mountaineers, tunneling through mountains and triggering avalanches as weapons. The Alps became a vertical battlefield, demanding new tactics and relentless endurance. Today, remnants of this war, tunnels, trenches, rusted wire, still scar the mountains. The White War was a struggle not just against men, but against the mountain itself. During World War II, Switzerland's survival was no accident. The Swiss planned to retreat into the Alps, turning the mountains into a fortress, the national redoubt. Tunnels, bunkers and disguised artillery transformed the landscape into a trap for any invader. Bridges and passes were rigged with explosives, ready to be destroyed at a moment's notice. The message, invade and you'll pay dearly. General Guisan's leadership inspired fierce resistance. Hitler never attacked, the cost was too high. The Alps protected Switzerland, proving that geography can be the ultimate defense. The redoubt remains a classic example of turning landscape into strategy. The Alps forced armies to innovate. Fortresses and castles were built on high crags, blending with the rock, nearly impossible to assault. Heavy cavalry gave way to light infantry, mobile, agile and deadly on rough ground. The Swiss became famous for their pike-wielding infantry. Modern armies developed mountain guns, cable cars and railways to supply remote positions. Elite mountain troops, Alpine, Chasseurs Alpins, Kaiserschützen, were expert climbers and skiers. These soldiers, drawn from local populations, gave their armies a crucial edge. To fight in the Alps, you had to become part of the mountains. In the last 2 centuries, roads, railways and tunnels have transformed the Alps. Passes once taking weeks now take hours to cross. Tunnels like Mont Blanc and Gotthard bypass old choke points, making the mountains more porous. For modern armies, this means faster movement, but also new vulnerabilities. Tunnels are now strategic assets. Control them and you control the Alps. The Swiss still plan to destroy key tunnels if invaded, recreating old barriers. Air power has changed the game, but the terrain still offers cover and challenges. Radar struggles, weather grounds, aircraft and mountain specialists remain vital. The Alps have been tamed but never fully conquered. The battle for the mountains is now a battle for their arteries. Today, the Alps are a crossroads for commerce and tourism, but their military value endures. The principle of deterrence, making invasion too costly, remains as strong as ever. Climate change is reshaping the mountains. Glaciers melt, Winters warm and new hazards emerge. Passes open longer, but thawing permafrost brings rockfalls and instability. Modern technology, drones, satellites, advanced gear, makes mountain warfare more dynamic. Alpine soldiers are now technicians and mountaineers operating in a rapidly changing environment. The Alps remain a shield, a crucible and a battlefield. Their challenges evolve, but their strategic power persists. As the landscape changes, so does the art of war. The Alps will always shape the destiny of Europe.